PTO and vacation is becoming more and more important to people just based on, the value of work-life balance, offering transparency to your users and to your staff. You want your employees to be able to have somewhere where they can go submit those time off requests, but also see what they have left, what they've used. You don't want to have to constantly be getting that information for them. So when you first log into your uh, time off module, regardless if you're a manager, an employee, or as I am here, an administrator, you're going to be presented with your calendar. And what you see on the calendar is going to depend on what, as an administrator, you set up as, parameters for management and staff. But as an admin, I can see everything here on the calendar, everything that's been booked or that's waiting to be approved. As you can see here, we have one time off request for a full week that is still pending. And I know this because there's a red question mark right here. So I know that this time off request has been submitted to management, but not approved yet. And everything else that's solid has been approved and is on the calendar. You can also come in here and see any kind of notifications here on this side, anything that's still pending. As an admin, you can action these, but ideally you want your managers to action the time off requests for their staff. And making a time off request is really easy. So obviously, if you're an employee, you won't have to select who you're requesting it for. But as an admin, if you're requesting on behalf of someone else, then you're going to go ahead and pick someone. And then they'll be able to pick either a full day, partial day, or multiple days. They'll have to pick the specific date. They'll have to pick where they want to, what time off type they want to use. So for instance, I want to use some PTO, and they're going to submit that request. Now it's saying it's going to automatically be approved because I am submitting this as an admin. But if it was an employee, it would simply go to the manager for approval as a pending request. Another thing to mention here at PurelyHR, we do offer a free 1-hour onboarding call. So since time off can be a little heavy to set up, especially if you're not used to the program and you're not 100% sure how to translate your policies into settings into the software, we do want to make sure that that's done correctly. So we will meet with you one-on-one with your policies in hand, and we will make sure to set this up with you so that when you roll it out to your staff, it's good to go. And the first thing we do is we set up time off types that come in 2 categories, deductible or non-deductible. Then we take those deductible time off types and we create policies for them. This is going to dictate how that time is awarded to your users. So this can be, given up front, it can accrue, it can reset at any point during the year. Once we have your various possible time off policies created, we then create a length of service, which basically dictates to the software, hey, PurelyHR, when my employee that's assigned to this specific length of service reaches a certain anniversary, I want you to bump them up from policy 2 weeks to policy 3 weeks. So once you have the ball rolling, the software should essentially just do everything automatically for you. You can also set up some restrictions to make sure that you're never understaffed. For instance, here we have in our head office, the administration, no one can take time off during these dates because maybe it's a busy period. But in all given situations, we have a maximum of 4 time off requests per day allowed. So this is optional, but it's a nice way to make sure that you're never understaffed in your office or in your department by limiting how many people can take off at the same time. A few reports that are available to you. So the first one being time off summary, which is that report that is a little special because every single person on the account has access to this for themselves. So this time off report, managers can see it for themselves and the users they manage. Obviously, admins can see all time off summaries, but Isabella can log in and see her own. So you're offering transparency between your organization and your staff as to what they get in a year and what they currently have available, what they've used so far, what's been deducted, what's accruing, etc. So there's no more, confusion. Do I have enough time left to take that long weekend in July? They can come in, they can check what they've used, they can check what they get, they can check what they have left, and they'll know whether they can make that time off request. And then if they do, and they don't, it won't let it go through. Normally, if you set up those restrictions, if the balance isn't there, it just won't let it go through regardless. So there's no confusion, no mistakes. Everyone is kind of on the same page. And then the second report I'll show you is time off details and time off totals, which do the same thing, just as the title would convey. One does it in more detail. So the time off details is going to break those time off requests down individually, whereas time off totals is just going to tally it up. So if I were to say, hey, show me all of those time off requests for the whole year, for instance, or during a pay period, it's going to show you all of your users and then the total amount taken. So for instance, Olivia took a total of 5 days of PTO. She also took 1 day and 4 hours of sick. So normally, time off details or time off totals is the report you're going to want to run and submit to whoever takes care of your payroll, either as a CSV file or a PDF. These can be exportable. Sometimes I believe they can even be uploaded into other softwares as a CSV. However, know that you don't have to run these manually every time you need them. There is the ability to automate them. So if you do, for instance, want that time off details report done every week, let's say, and you want to rename that to, the payroll time off report, you can do that. So we're running time off details every week. We kind of renamed it internally. We want time off that's been approved, ran on all 33 users. We selected what time off types we want and the recipients. So who's going to be receiving it? We want it done weekly on Monday at 9 a.m. And we want -14. So we want the past 14 days, the last 2 weeks. And we want that sent to these people. And we save that, and that means that this is going to automate. You're going to receive that CSV file in your email at that given time. We also have iCalendar links so that your users can sync up their current calendar in PurelyHR, have this information that they see mirrored onto a personal calendar. And as well as account settings and these general kind of setup settings, we also have user settings. So everything is very, very customizable, and it is quite flexible to accommodate, I would say, pretty much any scenario you could think of in most cases. One last thing before we end this live presentation. In time off, as well as in staff, you will see the ability to sort of update or upload using a CSV file. So if you do have a lot of people to upload or change all at once, you don't have to go ahead and do this individually one by one. You can always use an Excel spreadsheet, a CSV file, to either import in bulk, update in bulk in staff, or even in time off. So although everything can be done individually, we can also do that in bulk, all in one go using those files.